Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Thank you for stopping by again. I tried starting this video 3 times and keep getting interrupted, and I think I've got everything muted so that I can actually continue without having to have sounds going on in the background. I'll try again. Okay, I wanted to just go through a few things to bring you up to date on what's happening here in Panama. Get some good news to start off with. It's always nice to have that, and that's the Panama Canal. Now, they have completed their financial year. It's called a fiscal year, F-I-S-C-A-L, fiscal year, but think of it as a financial year. It's different than a calendar year, and it runs from October 1st of one year to September 30th of the next year. So 24-25, that fiscal year, ended just this last September. And we're currently in this financial year, if you like, from 25 to 26 already. However, when the year comes to an end, the books are closed. That's when a small army comes in to do the audit. These are outside auditors, independently working. It's a very involved audit because it's a huge operation. It's published intact in total. Eventually, when in Spanish and in English, when everything's finished and done on the internet. So if it's not up yet, it will be soon. And anybody can read it who wants to. And so it's open, it's government. So this year was a very good year. And a check, so to speak, a transfer of money was made from the last year, was made recently, now that all the paperwork and everything is done and finished, of nearly $3 billion. Now that's 3,000 million if you're a Spanish speaker. And just short of that, actually, it's 99% of 3 billion. We missed it by 35 million. Big deal. This is 20% higher than we had the year before. That's a very big jump. And you have to understand this. A lot of things have been going on here, and the Canal Authority is very good at taking advantage of everything that can work in its behalf. And they did that during the time when the number of passages were restricted. So there was a higher emphasis on the bigger ships carrying the liquefied natural gas, for example, which, wow, they pay a lot more than the single container ship and so on. They have to deal with everybody in their audience. But keeping that gas rolling was very important. Now, more recently, keeping an eye on this whole business to do with the tariff wars going on. It's driving everybody nuts, and the canal recognized and did everything they could to work with the Asian clients. That includes China, but includes a whole bunch of others too, who wanted to get their goods in to the U.S. market before things got worse or got better or whatever. They didn't know. They just knew they had to get, if they were going to have enough here for Christmas, they had to get the stuff out and over. And they did. So this benefited us in that sense by increasing the amount of traffic and the size of the ship, so to speak, and thus the amount of money for the passage and everything else. We've done very well. And the canal, as mentioned, you can expect a little bit of a relaxation on this coming up in this our new year, which we're already into, the 25-26 year. And in fact, we'll be finishing the first quarter of that at the end of December. Nothing stops. Everything just keeps moving here. In any event, that as a result of the tariffs, and possibly this may mean that they'll have too much in the U.S. or whatever. They won't need to push this hard, and who knows? We're not going to sit around and worry about it. Whatever. It's good news, and it came at a very good time. In addition to that, we're looking for ways to expand the market here into many other areas than simply North America and Europe. And that requires cooperation with other nations in this hemisphere. And this has become a very important point to the administration. President Molino, almost as soon as he could, right after his inauguration, went down to talk to the people who run Mercosur. Mercado. Mercado is the word for market in Spanish. Sur is the word for south or southern. So it's the southern market. It's America America Sul in Portuguese. Keep in mind that about half of South America's language speakers are Portuguese speaking. And, that's pretty impressive. That's because of Brazil. There's a lot of people living in Brazil. So the two languages are definitely a co-equal in that continent. We come down as formerly a part of South America, a part of the Greater Colombia, and so forth. If you go through the history of Panama, we were tied into South America up until independence here. And that's led us to be constantly connected with South America economically. Didn't hurt us at all this time around, because then they opened the doors to us, and he wanted to take advantage of that. So he went right straight down. He's been working on it since then. He's just now, I guess, maybe today, very shortly, to arrive up from his meetings down there. It's settled. We're now accepted as an associate member. We're looked at as a logistics platform for the community, for this particular organization, trade bloc, if you like, and playing a special role there. All of this is good. And in this day and age, any smart country is looking to branch out from its if it depends on just a few client nations, they want more to give some stability to the market. It's been very unstable recently. So that's a big plus, and we're happy to see that. And it's not meant as a response to tariffs. I mean, this whole thing started before tariffs were an issue. And this is just, President Molino wanted to get this done. And it's part of our general purpose anyhow here, is to tie in more and more with local markets. And this is a big step in that direction. Well, sorry about the break there. I talked about interruptions today, and then my little neighbor kid down the hallway with the piercing voice that can be heard for 3 blocks came out to greet everybody, and I just had to stop and let him have his greeting. He's on his way, so finally I think I have enough to get this done this year. Now, so the next figures we got were the gross domestic product, GDP. And those are for the first 9 months of the year. They came in at 4.2%, which is about what was expected to start from the beginning. What to say? There's nothing shocking here. There's nothing horrible about it. It is very slow for us, very slow, and it's not what we want. So we want it up, get it up there over 5-6% as soon as we can, if we can. It's a lot of challenges, but that's what we're working on. Everybody is, but it's still one of the highest in the region, one of the highest in Latin America. And that just shows how different it is here than it is in a lot of countries. And most of Panamanians are aware of this sort of dimly. I mean, we see all these people coming through from these larger countries with much bigger capital cities and all sorts of billionaires and people like that running around loose. And all they do is whine and complain, and many of them are scared to death to go back to their own country. Yeah, well, anyhow, I think most Panamanians have a good view of Panama, and they don't leave here very in large numbers. They stick around. If they go somewhere, they go to study, or they go to vacation, or something like that, much like you might. Anyhow, moving right along. So the GDP went up about that percentage. It's okay. We'll live with it. It's still in excess, substantially in excess of the growth in population. So it's always better when the pie is growing faster than the number who want a piece of pie. But at the same time, it can't be equally spread out. So you need a higher rate in order for the benefits to get down further in the list of in the income levels. So that the great number of people here who do so much of the work to keep the society working are being benefited by all of this. And it's been the case, and it's been huge. But now people want it back, and so people are working hard on it. And so far, we're doing quite well and holding our act together and continuing to work, getting things done, as some of these statistics I mentioned tonight. Okay, now the one thing remaining that I want to mention is, and that's Venezuela, and I don't like talking about a situation that's in another country. It's a political thing, and it includes the country that I'm from originally, the United States. All of this means it's something I don't believe has any business being here, with one exception, and it's because it affects Panama. So I do, and I don't mind saying so, and I just say what I feel, and I just hope this thing works out well. This has been hanging on too long. It's very concerning to me that they're still making up their minds what they're going to do. But they may have a plan that I have no idea of. But guys, it would be nice to see it come to a conclusion one way or another. It's an extremely difficult situation. And with Mr. Maduro, or President Maduro's decision not to step down at this point, at least as I speak, I don't think he has. Maybe I will find out he has while I've been talking here. I don't know. But it certainly hasn't been what people expected. And that's always a concern. What does he know we don't know, and so forth. And there's not necessarily anything out there that there's to know that we don't know. It's just one of those situations that are just beyond our ability to understand. We can follow the activity, the physical movement of people and of ships and so forth, but it's what's going on in people's heads. That's what's most important, and we can't know what that is. All we can do is say that we hope it gets done. Whatever happens is for the best possible under the circumstances, all right? And we will, as we always do here, do our best to try to be humanitarian in our approach to people who are in trouble, and also firm in our ability and insistence that we maintain our sovereignty. So, what do we do now? What do I say after all that? I'll probably say it again before the year is out, but Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, have a happy Kwanzaa, have a spectacular solstice, and of course, the merriest and happiest New Year possible, and hopefully that to come, and our Orthodox cousins, that they have a Merry Christmas in January, where they usually do, or they always do. So it's just wonderful to have so much going on at this time of the year that is a cause for joy, and I like to see that again. And I hear my little friend starting to steam up again. So I'm going to drop it at that point, and I look forward to getting back with you again soon. Thank you so much for putting up with me, the amount of all of my babbling, and of course the interruptions. He's quiet. It's a good sign.